In science, when you stumble upon a paradox, it's not a mistake. It's not a dead end. It's actually a huge, flashing signpost pointing towards a discovery, something so fundamental it could totally rewrite our understanding of the universe. And today, we're jumping headfirst into one of the biggest, most mind-bending paradoxes of them all. It all starts with a question that sounds ridiculously simple, almost like a kid would ask it. Can you actually, truly delete something from existence? I don't just mean smashing it or burning it. I mean erasing its very essence so that no trace of it ever existed. Well, here's the thing. According to the most basic bedrock laws of physics, the answer is a hard no, an absolute impossibility. But the universe has these shady characters lurking in the cosmic shadows that, well, they don't seem to care about the rules. We're talking about black holes, and they appear to be committing a crime against reality itself. Okay, so let's get into it. To really understand this cosmic crime scene, we first have to understand the law that's supposedly being broken. And trust me, this isn't some minor guideline. It's one of the absolute pillars of modern science. This law is all about something called information. Now, hold on. When a physicist talks about information, they don't mean, whether an apple is red or shiny. They're talking about quantum information, the deep, unique properties of every single particle that makes up that apple. Its position, its velocity, its spin, the whole shebang. So this quantum information, it's like the apple's ultimate, unforgeable blueprint. It's the one-of-a-kind recipe that makes it that specific apple, and not any other apple in the universe. If you had that blueprint, you could, in theory, rebuild that exact apple, particle for particle. And that brings us to the law itself, the conservation of information. It's a simple but profound rule that says the total amount of this quantum information in the universe can never, ever change. It can't be created, and, this is the important part, it can't be destroyed. This isn't just a nice idea. It's a mathematical truth that underpins basically everything. So, if the law is unbreakable, how do we have a paradox? Well, it's time to introduce our prime suspect, the black hole. This is where the solid ground of physics starts to feel a little shaky. Let's go back to our apple. Imagine it falls into a black hole. It crosses that point of no return, the event horizon, and poof, just like that, its unique quantum blueprint is completely plucked out of our observable universe, seemingly lost forever down that mysterious cosmic drain. Now, for a long time, this didn't cause a full-blown crisis. Physicists kind of had an alibi for the black hole. The thinking was, okay, the information isn't destroyed, it's just hidden. Maybe it's safely tucked away inside the black hole, or maybe it gets smeared onto the black hole's 2D surface, the event horizon. Either way, the law was safe. Problem solved, right? Well, not so fast, because every good detective story has a shocking twist. That one piece of evidence that changes everything. And in this cosmic case, the twist came from none other than the legendary Stephen Hawking. He basically found the smoking gun. The year is 1974, and this is the moment everything gets turned completely upside down. Hawking makes a jaw-dropping discovery. Black holes aren't actually permanent. They leak, they radiate energy, and over ridiculously long timescales, they completely evaporate into nothing. And this lays out the problem perfectly. Before Hawking, you could say the information was just locked up in a cosmic prison. But if Hawking is right, and the prison itself eventually dissolves, what happens to the prisoner? What happens to all that information that was inside? It looks like it gets completely and utterly deleted from the universe. The law is broken. And here's the real kicker. The particles that leak out of the black hole, this Hawking radiation, they appear to be completely random. They're just generic heat. They carry none of the unique quantum blueprint of the apple that fell in millions or billions of years ago. It's like burning a library to the ground. The smoke doesn't contain the stories that were in the books. The information is just gone. So yeah, this discovery basically blew the doors off of physics. It launched one of the biggest, most intense investigations in modern science, because if information really is being destroyed, our entire understanding of reality is fundamentally wrong. So how do we solve this? Let's look at what the top detectives on the case are thinking. Okay, a few possibilities. One idea is that the information is actually hidden in the escaping radiation, but it's scrambled in some impossibly complex way that we just don't know how to decode yet. Another thought is that this paradox is just a symptom of a deeper problem, that our two greatest theories of the universe, general relativity for gravity and quantum mechanics for everything else, just don't play nice together. They say we need a new theory of everything to figure it out. And then There's the most bizarre, mind-bending idea of all. The search for a solution to this cosmic crime has led physicists down a rabbit hole so deep it ends with an idea that sounds like it was pulled straight out of science fiction. It's an idea called the holographic principle. Remember that old idea that maybe information gets stored on the 2D surface of a black hole? Well, some brilliant physicists took that idea and just blew it up to the scale of the entire cosmos. They started asking a wild question. What if everything we see and experience in 3 dimensions isn't the fundamental reality? And that is the holographic principle. It suggests that our 3-dimensional reality is actually a projection, like a hologram, of information that's stored on a distant 2-dimensional surface at the very edge of our universe. Think about the hologram on your credit card. It's a flat 2D surface, but it creates the illusion of a 3D image. In this view, our Apple's information never really entered a 3D black hole. It just messed with the 2D code from which our reality is projected. So what began as a cosmic investigation into a missing apple has led us to question the very fabric of existence itself. It leaves us with one final, absolutely massive question to chew on. If this whole paradox is telling us that we might be living in a hologram, what are we a projection of?